Alright, so Ferrari and Red Bull, they're starting to go back and forth with their mind games, and Ferrari have chosen to attack the budget, alright, the budget cap. So, but not so. He dropped a comment saying that the budget cap will break Red Bull at some stage with their aggressive approach to upgrades, along with whatever repairs they have to run on engine and sundry. Though I'm pretty sure the engine is a separate budget anyway. So Bernardo, he's hit out. He's hit out and said the budget cap will snap at Red Bull at some stage. Now the budget cap's gonna snap at every team at some stage late season. All right, not not anytime soon. Let me tell you that. Unless something crazy happens with hyperinflation or what have you, which probably could happen. I mean, they're already planning for it. I say planning, they're making contingencies for it, right? But we'll get to that later. So Red Bull have adopted this really aggressive approach with bringing upgrades to the car. Well, I say they've adopted it. They've always had a really aggressive approach with upgrades, and they can't really maintain that approach in this budget cap era. Just as what it is. They already know that they've taken some concessions, made some concessions on that. I should say they've made some concessions on that front already. From Horner's own mouth, he would like to bring upgrades to every race, but with the way the budget caps are, they can't really do that. So Bernardo, he's decided to hit out on accounts of Red Bull bringing upgrades here, there, everywhere, and he got some heat back his way. He got some heat back his way. So Marko, he responded in kind. Marko responded in kind, and he used Sainz as the jump off point for his angle of attack, and he said, well, with Sainz crashing, once a weekend, on average, with them crashing once a weekend, yeah, that's gonna hit Ferrari's budget cap, and that will actually hit Ferrari's budget cap in a really catastrophic way if Sainz continues to crash every weekend. He probably won't even be in the seat for much longer. I mean, yeah, they've contracted him to a multi-year contract, but they could just as easily shuffle him into a test driver role, or this what do they call it now? Simulator driver. They'll probably shuffle him into that role if he keeps on doing this. But Marko, he responded in kind, and yeah, he's gone back to attacking Sainz as the weak link in Ferrari. And what Marko said, he isn't wrong. So neither of these guys, neither Bernardo nor Marko, have said anything tacitly wrong, aside from the percentages that they've cited for how much budget every team has spent. Now, of course, Marko does have figures. I'm sure he's correlating them to his own figures, right? Because of course the teams can look at pictures, they can look at the film even, but they can look at pictures of the damage that Sainz did to the car at Imola, for instance, or at Miami, and they can calculate, relative to their own parts, well, how much would this cost to repair. Now Marko says that Sainz has run up a bill of $1.2 million by this point. Now, could he have done that already? Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually, probably, definitely with the way he's been driving. So he's probably run up a budget of 1.2 million by now. Mind you, all of this is ignoring Red Bull's reliability woes, but we'll get to that another day. I still have to, I frankly have to confirm for myself if these budgets are separate or not. I'm pretty sure they are. I read that somewhere, but I need to go get that back. I need to go find that information again. And I'm sure I've said this already, but those figures that they cited, even Mercedes is involved in these false figures that are coming out for how much of the budget cap has been spent, right? Those figures that they're coming out, well, not figures, the percentages that they're coming out, they're saying Red Bull said Ferrari have spent 60% of their budget. No, I mean half that, 30%. Ferrari said Red Bull have spent 70% of their budget, now half that, 35% at most, right? These are at most. These are real highball estimations, yeah. And there was news come out that Mercedes had spent 60% of their budget, or they're not going to get upgrades for the rest of the season after Spain. Absolutely not the case, right? It's absolutely. I don't know where they're getting this from. I don't know how they're printing that, but yeah, they've printed that, and it's really far from the truth. Mind you, there are problems relating to the budget cap that the likes of Brawn and FOM, quite frankly, are having to plan around, and that's due to hyperinflation with this Russia-Ukraine thing, all the sanctions on Russia coming in from the Western world, and on account of most of the teams being based in Britain. Supposedly there's a cost of living crisis that's brewing over there. I can't really comment on this stuff anymore. Last time I commented on this stuff on the internet, I got censored, and then, reality came knocking at the door. So, yeah, I'm just not gonna really comment on that. But this is what the article has said, that there's a cost of living crisis in the UK. And on account of most of the teams being based there, they actually want to ask for a larger budget cap. Now, whether that actually happens or not, now that budget cap will be for next season, right? It's not for this season. But there's 7 teams pushing for a budget cap rise as costs soar. Now, all of this, quite frankly, depends on how long this Russia-Ukraine thing goes for, how long the sanctions on Russia are maintained, right? That's really what it depends on. If it's not maintained for longer than this year, it's probably, well, regardless of however long it's maintained, there's still ramifications for these things to be felt across time. So, so you've got teams, 7 teams, it's all the teams based in Britain, your Milton Keynes, your so on. And they're all saying, hey, we're gonna need more money next season. Now they're saying next season, they're not saying this season. Alright, so all those percentages, your 60% of budget spent, 70%, all of that, forget about those. Those are not real budget. Those are not real figures. And if they were real figures, then there would be real question marks as to how exactly they're gonna run this whole season. There would be real question marks about that, because the teams would run out of money 3/4 through the season, and there's no more season. There's no more F1 season to put on. So FOM, they're obviously not going to let that happen. They've got all manner of experts looking at this stuff and deciding how much money should be released to the teams as the season runs on. And this has really been planned for, right? They've got their rescue payments set up post 20 races. So every team gets, I don't know what the figure is now, 2 mil. They get 2 million for each race past 20 races in the calendar. So they've already had contingencies in place for this. But it is worthwhile to note that, all this tomfoolery that's happening out in the real world, yeah, it's got an impact here on F1. Yes, indeed. And it will be very interesting to see who can actually maintain tempo as the season goes on, especially with upgrades. Now, I'm still expecting upgrades for Spain, for Silverstone, and for Spa. I'm still expecting that, or even pre-Spa, Hungary or something. I'm still expecting that. That's not going to change. If that changes, then yeah, they'll be reviewing the budget cap and they'll give the teams 150 mil minimum. But anyway, I'm still expecting upgrades. Those percentages that were put out in regards to how much of this budget has been spent, ignore those. If you just want to seriously, I would just suggest ignore those. None of them are accurate. And yeah, both of these VIPs, your Benotto and Marko, they are probably correct in saying that our rivals will hit the budget cap soon. Well, not soon, but as the season goes on, they will hit the budget cap, and we'll be talking like Suzuka. They'll probably hit budget cap, and then after that, it's anyone's guess. Well, whichever car is fastest by that point of the season is probably gonna have the easier title run-in. But anyway, I just found it very interesting that there were percentages given out on some of these articles. So that's the vid. Peace.
Hell breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you're doing that thing over there. Hey. Let's go! Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away. Better know that I don't and I won't ever stop. Cause you know I gotta win every day. Go! See, you really wanna pop me. Go! Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I gotta be a little cocky. Go! You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing a nigga think that he be doing, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna dead it. Then I'm gonna murder everything and anything about it. Boom, about a bing. I gotta do a lot of things to make it clearer to a couple niggas that I always win and then I gotta get it again and again and again. And I be doing it to death and now I move a little foul. Nigga better call a rap and everybody know my style. Niggas know that I'm the best when it comes to doing this, and I be banging on my chest and I bang in the east and I banging in the west and I come to give you more and I will never give you less. You will hear it in the street or you can read it in the press. Do you really wanna know what's next? Let's go. See the way we on it and we all up in the race, and you know we gotta go now try to keep up with the pace. And we struggling and hustling and sell it and I get it and we always gotta do it, take it to another place. Gotta taste it and I gotta grab it and I gotta cut all through